Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm here at the 2023 Chicago Auto Show and I want to show you the new vehicle behind me, and that is the 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6, which should be hitting dealerships within the next few months. So this is a good opportunity to kind of get a first look. This is a pre-production model, unfortunately, but it should be almost production ready, should have many of the same features, options, and interior materials as that of the final production version. So let's go ahead and take a first tour of this 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6. So of course the Ioniq 6 is based upon the same E-GMP dedicated EV platform from Hyundai that the Ioniq 5 is sitting behind it. And the big news with the Ioniq 6 is that it is more aero efficient than that of the Ioniq 5. So using the same battery pack, the same motors, and overall same architecture, and just changing some of the body structure, you're gaining a significant range improvement of that of the Ioniq 5. Now, unfortunately, this only really applies to those in the base trim level and especially the rear wheel drive trim level with the 19-inch wheels only. So with that trim, you're gaining 361 miles of EPA estimated range in the rear wheel drive form, and I believe about 320 EPA estimated miles in the all-wheel drive with, again, the 19-inch wheels. Now, the vehicle in front of us, of course, is the top limited trim with the 20-inch wheels, and this drops your range significantly compared to that of the base SE trim. So this one sitting in front of us, I assume, is a dual motor, but even if it is a rear wheel drive motor, it only gets about 3 to 5 miles more than that of the comparable Ioniq 5. So keep that in mind if you're looking at a 23 Ioniq 6 with the 20-inch wheels, about the SEL as well as the limited trim, is that it's going to be very insignificant of a range improvement of that of the Ioniq 5, despite the extra aerodynamic efficiency and overall body shape of this vehicle. So that was a little bit disappointing when Hyundai released that information about a week ago now, in that the range is an improvement over the Ioniq 5. However, it has just 3 to 5 miles extra of additional range. Now, whether or not that translates to real world improvement, maybe the real world improvement is 10 to 20 miles, we just don't know yet, since this vehicle is not in ownership hands and driving out on the public roadways. But that will be interesting to see is if people can eke out some more miles than the EPA estimated range, given this is more aerodynamic efficient. So take a look at the front of the Ioniq 6. You will find full LED projector lighting across all trim levels. That's something I really thought was a big improvement over that of the Ioniq 5, which you guys know if you follow the channel, I'm not a huge fan of the base reflector LED headlights. But you can see this assembly here, LED projector headlights, LED turn signals, all that good stuff. Front parking sensors, including your front camera here in the front bumper. Kind of a silver Hyundai emblem that does look quite nice. It's quite flush with the body, and I do really like this green color. I'm not exactly sure the name off the top of my head, but hopefully this makes it into production. Looks quite nice. But given this is the limited, you do get the silver accent trim. Again, the 20-inch wheels on the outside. Of course, you do have the same door handle style that kind of goes flush with the body when the vehicle is locked. Of course, you have the surround view camera system, heated blind spot detection, all that good stuff. This one does have the black interior, and you will have the same H-Tex as the Ioniq 5, so the synthetic leatherette. One neat thing about the Ioniq 6 as well is they removed basically all the controls off of the door panels and moved them into the center console. So you see the only real buttons you have on the door panel is in regards to your lock and unlock button, or excuse me, the memory seat buttons around the door handle. Of course, you do have the ambient lighting still, the Bose premium audio system, and a lot of storage in the door panel. And you can see the steering wheel is going to be basically the same. This is being a pre-production model, does not appear to have the actual LED lights that go in the steering wheel. That is an interactive display feature that will be there on production models that kind of flash and change depending on the drive modes and charge status, everything like that. I really do think the dashboard design is quite interesting. You can see the wing tips on either side, and that's likely due to the fact that the overseas models actually have digital rear view mirrors, which the North American models will not be getting just due to regulations and stuff like that. But you can see dual 12.3-inch displays. Of course, this one being fully loaded has all of the features. I do like these buttons a little bit better than that on the Ioniq 5 actually, because these are kind of dedicated individual buttons rather than a quadrant style where the whole button kind of shifts depending on which quadrant you push. So that is a nice upgrade. Looks like you have the same stalks on either side for the turn signals, lights, stuff like that. Looks like you have your trunk release, charge port, electronic parking brake, power folding mirrors with your mirror controls here to the left of the steering wheel. I do like the open console design as well, so you can kind of store a bunch of items in here. And of course, Hyundai says this is a nice workspace. There's your lock unlock window controls, wireless charging pad, and some of your same HVAC controls as well. So not too much different on the inside, definitely very familiar to that of Hyundai vehicles. And take a look in the back seat. This is going to be a huge improvement as well. So you can see actually they do put the door panel controls here for the window switches in the back. I like this design language with the little storage pocket up here. Rear seat legroom is not an issue. It would be headroom if anything. So I'm going to go ahead and step inside. So here on the inside, actually, I was not expecting to have a slight issue, but I actually am brushing my hair against the top of the roof line, and I am about 5'9". So that was actually surprising. I was not expecting that. But you can see here in the back seat, legroom is a non-issue. Plenty of that. AC vents, charge port, USB-Cs in the back. You can see some of the ambient lighting is turned on. Regular kind of oversized sunroof, not a panoramic type. And you have your LED lighting up top, very nice. But overall, very familiar Hyundai layout here. There's a look at the dashboard. I assume the seats will fold down 60-40 split, and the material feels very close to that of the regular H-Techs in the Ioniq 5 and some of the other Hyundai models. So that's nice to see, very comfortable interior. My only small issue or worry is that a lot of people might have rear seat headroom issues, but again, if you don't have rear seat passengers or they're on the smaller side of things, that might not be an issue. You know, I assume car seats and children should fit back here without an issue. And along with that, you can see just how close kind of the ingress and egress is. So you do have to kind of duck your head quite a bit to get in here. Coming out back, you can see the pixel design language, of course, with the aerodynamic fuser and the third brake light up top. There's a look at the trunk space. You can see it is a fairly narrow opening. Here's your releases for the seat recline, or fold down, excuse me. Good amount of underfloor storage, actually. But yeah, overall, this will be a very interesting vehicle to see in the lineup, see how owners kind of come to like this vehicle over maybe something like a traditional hatchback shape like the Ioniq 5. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. Would you rather have an Ioniq 6 or something like the traditional Ioniq 5, which is still a very usable space, more traditional hatchback shape. And of course, this one does have a slightly longer wheelbase than that of the Ioniq 6. However, they both have a very extended wheelbase compared to that of a normal kind of mid-size sedan. So I do want to finish up here quickly on the passenger side front seat. As usual, looks like you will get most of the same power adjustments on the front seat as that of the driver's side. And again, I do find this dashboard design quite interesting. It does have the ambient lighting that can be adjusted, of course. But yeah, this is a very interesting first look at the 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6, which we should see in less than 2 months if everything kind of goes to plan with production and stuff like that. So let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think of the 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6 here in the top limited trim. Of course, once again, this is a pre-production model, so keep that in mind while watching. That there might be some material differences and slight tweaks that they make to the final assembly version that's released to consumers. But overall, I think this will be a great addition to the Hyundai lineup, especially in their new EV platform. And of course, they did confirm or did hint at the Ioniq 7 coming sometime in the next few years. So I'm excited for that. Of course, that should be based upon kind of the Kia EV9, if I'm not mistaken. So a 3-row large battery electric SUV. So very excited for that. And once again, hopefully you guys enjoyed this quick look at the new Ioniq 6.